Hello everyone and welcome to Fifth North. I'm Demir and today I'm going to talk about my decision to sell my Vitpilen 401. Alright, so a couple of videos back, I had mentioned that I made the decision I mentioned that I was thinking about making the decision to sell my 2019 Husqvarna Vitpilen 401. And then when I officially made that, official, quite a few of you hit me up and asked the question, why are you selling the bike? What was the reason behind it? Is there something wrong with it? Just a lot of questions around that topic, so I really wanted to take a minute and really explain and give a little bit of detail around it, and then hopefully answer some of your questions. So let's start from the first reason. So before I really dive into the reasons, I want to eliminate that thought of, is there something wrong with the bike? So definitely not. The Vitpilen 401 really exceeded a lot of my expectations that I had going into it, and quite frankly, for what I would consider a starter bike and being a sub 400cc bike, I think it's got a lot to offer. I think as far as value for the money, it's really hard to beat. You get really good handling, you get really good braking, really good acceleration, just a really overall fun ride in a very light and nimble bike that's in my opinion, just perfect for commuting, perfect for, riding around town. So definitely nothing wrong with the bike itself. All right, and I just realized I am actually almost completely out of gas. So let me go ahead and pull over and fill up, and then we'll go from there. So let's talk about the reasons, right? So the first reason is, as I mentioned, the Vitpilen, in my opinion, is a great starter bike, and I would even argue a really solid intermediate bike. But with that being said, though, I've had my motorcycle license now for, trying to do the rough math here, I'd say 16, almost 17 years, and even though I did take a break in between, I definitely wouldn't consider myself a beginner. So when I first got this bike, it was my shake off the rust bike, and there was definitely times when I felt like it was powerful. I felt like there was plenty of throttle left in my everyday riding, right? But as I shook off that rust and I became more confident, and again, this is a great starter bike, so I don't think you'll have this problem, definitely not like a 250 or anything like that, but as you become more advanced, you start finding yourself at the end of that throttle. And now I find myself, as I ride daily, that I'm almost constantly flat out on the throttle with no power left, right? So I'm always consistently, pinning the bike, which lets me know that I'm ready for something with more power. This bike makes around 44, 45 horsepower, and so I think in my eyes, probably something closer to 100 would be more applicable based off of my riding style, based off of my current experience on this particular bike, right? So every time I'm out, corners, straights, no matter what I'm doing, I feel like I'm consistently flat out, and so definitely there's no room to grow from here from a power and speed perspective, at least not on this bike. So this is why I'm looking at something more powerful. So I could definitely see myself looking at maybe a twin or a triple, something in the 600-700 cc range. It's going to give me probably double, maybe triple the power, just to give me some of that headroom that I'm looking for as I continue to grow. Now let's talk about the other part of this bike that I'm not super happy with. This is probably the only gripe that I have, but again, it's not what it's designed for, and that gripe is going to be highway riding. riding. This bike doesn't do that great in my opinion on highway riding, and I do want to get more into highway riding. And so having a bike like this where there's literally no wind protection, once you exceed 65-70, it's just not really that fun. Again, it's got enough power to go on the highway, I just don't like the way that it handles the highway riding from a wind perspective, right? So I want something that's a little bit more highway friendly. Again, if you're riding mostly local, if you're riding mostly commuting, the Vitpilen 401 just can't be beat, especially not for the money. But if you're doing a lot of highway riding, this bike is just not built for that. So I really want to look into something that's going to provide me a better experience on the highway, especially as I start to look into road trips and things like that. All right, so moving on from that point, the other thing I'm thinking about as well is, you know, I am running a YouTube channel, right? And so part of my channel is twofold. One, I do want to make videos around modifying motorcycles, making changes to motorcycles, adding parts to motorcycles, things like that. And as you guys have seen over the past couple of months, I've already done that with the Vitpilen 401, and so there's really not much left for me to do from a perspective of modification, because this bike has pretty much everything that I would do to it, right? And so you start to kind of run out of content. And so really with being a YouTube channel owner, I'm starting to look at, you know, can I get into a different bike to give me more things to do, more modifications, more changes, different install videos, things like that. So really a part of the process of me selling this bike is also to allow my channel to grow, right? The other part of it too is I really want to explore different motorcycles. So that's another big part of this channel, and just my overall riding experience is I don't want to just have one motorcycle and stick with it for an extra long period of time. I'd rather kind of get to experience different bikes, different styles, you know, different brands, different horsepower levels. I just really want to have a really wide range of both experience and content for my channel overall. And then let's talk about the last reason why I chose to sell the Vitpilen 401, and that's because I have the opportunity to buy my dream motorcycle. So as much as I think the Vitpilen is great, again, I can't say this enough, if you're a first-time rider, if you're a heavy commuter, if you're a person who you know, just wants to cruise and have fun and have something that's really light and nimble and really a great value for your money, the Vitpilen 401, again, and its cousin, the Smartpilen 401, fantastic bike. So don't get me wrong on that end, but it is definitely not my dream bike, right? It's a great bike, but it's not my dream bike. And so my dream bike is a Triumph Street Triple RS, and the reality of it is, if I sell this motorcycle, it'll help me put a down payment on the Street Triple RS, which is what I really want and have been wanting for quite some time now. So that is the primary reason, outside of the stuff that I previously mentioned, that I'm moving on from this bike, is that I have a chance to get into the Street Triple RS, which again is going to answer a lot of the questions or a lot of the issues that I need solved with the Vitpilen, right? It's going to have more power. It actually has about triple the power, so it's going to give me that extra headroom to continue to grow, to continue to expand my skills and have even more fun with the bike, right? It's going to give me a whole new platform to learn, so it's a much more powerful bike, in my opinion, a much more refined bike. And I'm going from a single cylinder to a triple, so it's going to give me a whole new bike to learn, a whole new bike to experience, not to mention a whole new set of aftermarket modifications, a whole new set of accessories, which is going to obviously yield back to what I said with the YouTube channel, right? A whole bunch more new content, different videos, different, you know, things that I can work on and do. So again, dream bike, plus it helps the channel. And then again, it helps with the highway stuff too, right? Yes, it is still a naked bike, but it does have a small windscreen, and just the way the bike is laid out overall, to me it does a better job with fighting the wind than the Vitpilen 401 does. So again, dream bike, checks the boxes for the issues that I have with the Vitpilen 401, and not necessarily issues, but just things I want to change. And then it obviously checks all the boxes from a YouTube channel perspective. And so that's pretty much it. If you guys have any other questions that I didn't answer, feel free to drop them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer them for you. With that being said though, hope you guys are looking forward to it. I know I sure am, for that Street Triple RS to come in. I do have to wait until early 2023 because I am waiting for a specific color that I want. But yeah, it's going to be a good and exciting time with plenty more content to come. I always want to really rip it on this turn here. It's a really good turn, but there's always that driveway right there, and I swear every time I take this turn, there's always a car there waiting, and they're always super impatient and they creep forward, and because of that, I don't know if they're going to go or not, so I can't take it fast, and it literally ruins this turn every single time. So thank you, impatient car drivers, for ruining a perfectly good turn. Anyway, so back to the subject. Yeah, so again, to answer your guys' questions, no, I do not dislike my Vitpilen 401. Again, I think it's a fantastic bike. I highly recommend it to anybody who is just starting out, or somebody who's, you know, a couple of years in and just looking to step up from that smaller bike, maybe a 250 that they had or something like that. So again, fantastic bike, but I have the opportunity to get into my dream bike, so that is is what I'm doing. But yeah, if you guys like this video, hit the like button for me, and if you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button as well, as it does help my channel out quite a bit. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.